So what happens when you burn all your maps and enter into a wilderness of your own making? It's an interesting place. What I found, what came my way, was surrender. I had to discover and learn surrender. At the beginning of this year, my wife Sonia and I, we created a startup called AI Charm Lab. We are building an app for artists, and we are excited to show it to you all when we get it done soon. But being in a startup is an interesting place. I have a lot more respect and appreciation for a caterpillar right now, because when you are in a startup, you go into this little pod. Everything gets melted down that is not needed to be rebuilt up into something that is useful. And that transformation allowed me to discover a really transforming aspect, which is surrender. To let go of controlling, let go of thinking you know what is best to do. There's a greater energy that when it comes through you, it is electric. And one of the stories I love that has that story in it is from the author Elizabeth Gilbert in one of her books on creativity, where she talks about the poet Ruth Stone in Virginia in the 1900s. And Ruth was out in the fields working away, but Ruth was a poet, and she could feel things. And she could feel when a poem was coming. And so there was a poem coming through the valley. So she runs home, grabs her paper and her pen, and writes that poem down. She's got it. But sometimes Ruth said she didn't quite get there on time. She would just get there towards the end, and she would reach out and grab the tail end of that energy that was coming through, and she would get that last line out, and she would keep holding on to it until she would get the next last line, and she would keep holding on until she got the whole goddamn poem. And when she got it, she would let it go, because sometimes you got to fight for it. And so she fought for it. So being a part of this startup allowed me to surrender to this new energy that was really there, and it has always been there. And what happened for me was I started writing a lot more. And in writing, I started sketching a lot more. And the sketches were really interesting as they started to happen, because being newly acquainted with this thing called surrender, I was putting my judgmental self, my self that always thought it knew what it needed to do, to the side. And then these drawings just started to happen. And you're watching yourself drawing something, not knowing where it's going or where it's coming from, and you're letting it come out onto the page. And as it's happening, this garden just pops out, spills out onto the page after half an hour, and I'm like, what is that? And then I'm so excited about it that I grab a canvas and I go over and spend the next 2 hours just drawing on that canvas. And then this another wonderful garden pops out on that. And I start working on it and developing it. And that garden turns into topography number 6. And then over the next few months, these paintings just start popping out of me. These drawings start happening. And all I have to tell myself is just move over there a tad bit. Take that rock out of the middle of the stream and just move it over there, and the current gets stronger. And that is what happened for me with these paintings. As I say, being a part of a startup makes you have to be dynamic. You have to look at things differently. You have to reevaluate how you look and think about everything. Anything that is not serving you, you have to let go. And for me, that was a game changer and opened up infinite possibilities. I got rid of my reference photos, my grids, and I just started drawing and painting. And then this is what came out. It's as much of a shock to me as it is to everyone else. But I have been enjoying it. I've really been enjoying painting in a new way that I haven't for a little bit. And it's refreshing. And sometimes it's really interesting when you clear the path and when you stop holding on to something that is no longer serving you. You open up a space, and what comes in, what floods in, is what only you can imagine. And if you allow that space, that imagination will fill it up with all sorts of things. It's really exciting. So I think what I learned the most from being in the startup right now, because it is ongoing, is that when you surrender and when you trust in yourself and in your imagination, what happens is you trust those landscapes that starts to fall out and start to come through in your sketches and your paintings. And when you are brave enough to wander through this new territory without a map and into a wilderness of your own making. And I love it. And I'm going to close with just a few thank yous. One person I would like to thank immediately is my dear friend Lars Yerlach, who helped me with all my frames. That's why they look amazing. Secondly, I would like to extend a congratulations to all my fellow artists, to Helen, Joanne, and Jane. You guys, it's really wonderful to share this space with you. I would like to thank Portland Art Gallery for all the work you do, and every Thursday of the 1st, you pull this off. You have great energy in this space. The place is buzzing. Kudos to you all. It really is wonderful. And of course, last but not least, I would like to thank my extraordinary wife, partner in life and creativity, Sonia. She is the backbone of all my struggles and achievements as an artist, and she is, I think I would not probably be standing here tonight without her unwavering support that she has in me throughout the years. Her creativity and her strength and her dynamism has probably made me a better artist, and it is a wonderful thing. Thank you all.